The air felt heavy in the upscale gym as Aisha swiped her membership card, only to be met with snickers from the front desk. "Balance due," the clerk sneered, her tone dripping with disdain. The other staff joined in, their mocking laughter cutting deep. Aisha, a young black woman, stood frozen, her heart pounding. Why were they targeting her? What happened next would leave them stunned and scrambling to undo their mistake. Aisha Thompson, a 24-year-old graphic designer, had always been proud of her resilience. Growing up in a small, predominantly white town, she navigated subtle slights with grace, her warm smile masking the sting of microaggressions. She'd moved to the city for a fresh start, landing a job at a creative agency and treating herself to a membership at an upscale gym, a symbol of her hard-earned success. The gym, with its sleek machines and glossy mirrors, felt like a reward for her hustle. She'd show up after work, earbuds in, losing herself in workouts that drowned out the world's noise. But something felt off lately. The front desk staff, all white, seemed to watch her a little too closely. Their smiles were tight, their greetings curt. Aisha brushed it off, chalking it up to her imagination. She wasn't here to make friends, just to stay focused and strong. Still, the unease lingered, a quiet hum beneath her routine. She didn't know that today everything would change. The gym, her sanctuary, was about to become a battleground for her dignity. As she walked in that evening, her membership card in hand, the clerk's eyes narrowed. Aisha sensed the tension but couldn't predict the storm brewing. Something was wrong with her account, or so they claimed. The truth, buried in their smug glances, would soon unravel in a way no one expected. Aisha approached the front desk, her gym bag slung over her shoulder, the familiar beep of her card scanner interrupted by the clerk's sharp voice. "Balance due," she said, her lips curling into a smirk. Aisha frowned, confused. She'd paid her membership in full months ago. "There must be a mistake," she said, her voice steady but her pulse quickening. The clerk, a woman named Karen, rolled her eyes and tapped the screen dramatically. "Says here you owe $200. Can't let you in until it's settled." Behind Karen, two other staff snickered, exchanging glances that made Aisha's skin prickle. The gym was busy, members streaming past, some pausing to stare. Aisha felt the weight of their eyes, the unspoken judgment. She pulled out her phone, scrolling through her bank app to show proof of payment, but Karen waved it away. "That's not our system. You need to pay now or leave." The laughter from the other staff grew louder, a cruel edge to it. One muttered something under her breath, the word typical, barely audible but sharp enough to cut. Aisha's chest tightened. She wasn't just being accused of not paying, she was being humiliated. The gym, once her escape, now felt like a trap. She asked to speak to the manager, her voice firm despite the tremor in her hands. Karen shrugged, feigning boredom, and called for someone named Greg. The wait stretched on, the snickers from the staff growing bolder. Aisha noticed other members whispering, their glances laced with pity or suspicion. She wanted to shrink, to disappear, but she stood taller, refusing to let them see her break. When Greg finally appeared, his demeanor was no better. He glanced at the screen, then at Aisha, his expression skeptical. "We don't make mistakes like this," he said, his tone implying she was the problem. Aisha's mind raced. This wasn't about a balance, it was about her. The way they looked at her, the way they laughed, it was all too familiar. She'd felt this before in small, cutting ways. The teacher who assumed she'd cheat, the neighbor who clutched her purse when Aisha passed by. But this was bolder, more public. As Greg repeated the demand for payment, Aisha's eyes caught something on the screen, a glitch, a name that wasn't hers. Her heart skipped. She leaned closer, pointing it out, but Greg dismissed her, his voice rising. The tension in the room thickened, members now openly watching. Aisha's resolve hardened. She wasn't leaving until this was right. What she didn't know was that the truth was seconds away from exploding. Aisha's finger jabbed at the screen, her voice cutting through the gym's hum. "That's not my account." The name displayed wasn't Aisha Thompson, but someone else entirely, a clerical error glaring in black and white. Greg's face flushed, his confidence faltering, but he doubled down, insisting she was wrong. The staff's laughter stopped, replaced with uneasy glances. Aisha's heart pounded. not with fear now, but with fury. She wasn't fighting for her membership, she was fighting for her dignity. She demanded they check the system again, her voice steady, unwavering. The crowd around the desk grew, members murmuring, some recording on their phones. Karen's smirk faded as she fumbled with the keyboard, her fingers betraying her nerves. Greg hovered, his authority crumbling. Then, the screen refreshed, revealing the truth. Aisha's account was paid in full, the error linked to a mix-up with another member's name. The silence was deafening. Karen's face went pale, Greg's mouth opened but no words came. Aisha stood tall, her eyes locking onto theirs. "You mocked me over a mistake you made," she said, her voice low but piercing. The weight of her words hung in the air, a mirror held up to their prejudice. The crowd's murmurs grew louder, some nodding in support, others glaring at the staff. Aisha felt the tide shift, the power dynamic flipping in an instant. She could walk away now, but she wasn't done. The room held its breath, waiting for her next move. What would she do with this moment? Aisha didn't leave. She demanded a public apology, her voice calm but unyielding. Greg stammered, offering a weak excuse, but the crowd's murmurs pressured him. Karen, avoiding eye contact, muttered a half-hearted apology. Aisha wasn't satisfied. She reported the incident to corporate, detailing the staff's behavior and the racial undertones she'd endured. Within days, the gym issued a formal apology and Karen and Greg faced disciplinary action. Aisha's video of the confrontation, shared by a bystander, went viral on X, sparking outrage and support. The incident changed Aisha. She'd always brushed off slights to keep the peace, but this time she'd fought back, and won. The gym offered her a free year's membership, but she declined. It no longer felt like her space. Instead, she joined a community gym, one that welcomed her without judgment. The experience fueled her advocacy. She began sharing her story online, connecting with others who'd faced similar injustices. Her voice grew louder, her confidence unshakable. This wasn't just about a gym balance. It was about the insidious ways racism creeps into everyday life, disguised as mistakes or misunderstandings. Aisha's stand exposed that truth, forcing those around her to confront their biases. Her story rippled, inspiring others to speak out. The viral video sparked discussions on X about accountability and systemic change, with thousands sharing their own experiences. Aisha's courage became a beacon. How many others are silenced by these moments, and what will it take for the world to listen?